Another week of YouTube kicking me right in the Hamilton. So I saw Gladiator 2. Because I got dragged along and needed something to review. I'm going to get right into it because I don't want to poison the well. In addition, I have quite the story to tell. Gladiator 2 starts with an intro that looks like that of Marvel's Secret Invasion. It looks like bad CGI, showing scenes from the first film, and it offends the eye. Throughout the film, the effects look weak, unrealistic and somewhat bleak. It has a scene of the new leading man in his garden, growing crops, enjoying life. He has maybe 2 lines with his woman and then she loses her life. I needed a lot more than this to feel any sense of loss. I'm one scene in and the film's lost its gloss, because with no build-up at all, the Romans have come to take over their city. The wasted potential in this film is really a pity. Some people may tell you that this film's the worst, but it isn't that bad, it's just worse than the first. In the time this is set, around 200 AD, Numidia had been a Roman province for over 200 years and wasn't free. It makes little sense for the Romans to invade and take their own province with fire and blade. Numidia was a province, not a city as the film states. It's as bad with geography as it is with dates. And this attack that for some reason came from their own side, this is where the hero loses his bride. Because she's an archer up on the walls, she gets hit with an arrow and swiftly falls, as the battle I'd say is hardly tense, and there's no real characters and it makes little sense. The Romans got on the wall and immediately floundered by leaving the wall and becoming surrounded, with a general played by Pedro Pascal called Acacius, who never even existed, but the Numidians still bravely resisted, led by a king called Jugurtha, who in reality perished in 100 BC, 300 years before the film is even set. And using a counterweight trebuchet which wouldn't be invented for another 1,000 years, that's really a get. But to many Americans, and I don't mean this to be an attack, but you need to learn that not all Africans are black. Honestly, I don't mean to be brusque, but maybe just consider Elon Musk. I don't mean to be harsh, but we have coins of this bloke, and the Numidians, it seems, were Berber folk. The projectiles in this battle all have incredible range, and it's wildly historical. It's all rather strange, and if you think none of this sounds like a plus, just wait until the gladiator riding a rhinoceros. Coming into this film, I had some historical fears, but pumpkins won't reach Europe for 1300 more years. It's then time for our hero to fall. He gets hit from behind and goes off the wall. And how in the world did he survive that, unless he's not human and really a cat? So our poor hero was trying to be brave, but got hit from behind and woke up a slave. He's about to cross through the gates of hell. He's become the gladiator, slave of Denzel. All in all, it's a bit of a blow, because this hero is much weaker than Russell Crowe. The story still comes off as a little tragic, a lot like the first, just minus the magic, and the story barely stays afloat as the leading actor struggles to emote. In this story, he's supposed to be some ball of rage, but the actor's emotion is hard to even gauge. The villainous emperors are grinning goons, and the alleged hero has a fight with baboons. The film's twin emperors sent the army out to invade, but historically they weren't even twins and they just got played. They want invasions to fuel the empire. Acacius wants peace and to quell the fire. The hero gets sent to the arena and tested, but every foe ends up bested. What can I say? What pithy remarks about a flooded arena filled with sharks. Historians were unhappy, causing Ridley Scott to stare and add a rejoinder of, well, were you there? Maybe he's going through one of them phases. By that standard, why not sharks with head-mounted lasers? My confusion was real as the rhino gets thrust into a wall while blinded by dust. And what is this hell? Is this meant to appall? How did the gladiator forget the wall? Strange it is, believe it or not, somehow, some way it seems he forgot. I'm at a loss what he was supposed to be thinking, but this should teach us not to drive a rhino while drinking. Quite sadly, the film is ahistorical. A fact it seems that's categorical. Acacius launches a coup but gets caught. His hopes for Rome's future all come to naught. The emperors fall by Denzel's hands, who plans the destruction of Roman lands. So I sit here now and find it hard to stress how much this writing's a narrative mess. In the arena, the hero spares the life of Acacius, the general who slayed his wife. A place that butchers, enslaves and invades, that's the place he heroically saves. Then he takes the life of Denzel, the man who helped him be sent to hell. Historically, Denzel ruled Rome for a year, but in this film it's closer to an hour, I fear. So really I'm stuck on the mystery of why we can never get accurate history. And that is the story. The hero saves Rome, a place that he hated he now makes his home. Our bold hero shows us his bravery to save a city that runs on slavery. And who's the bad guy? The story's knave. The embittered, up-jumped former slave. So Denzel's end is a bit gory, and did they just make a pro-slavery story? So once again, Hollywood rehearse how to make a sequel that makes the first film worse, and are Hollywood's ways tried and true, when they run down the old to push the new?
If you only knew the power of one, the power of two, the power of many.